If your dog often pants, hides in corners, suddenly becomes irritable, or clings to you in unusual ways, there is a good chance that some of the things you do every day are stressing it out without you even realizing it. Many people think their dog is just being moody, stubborn, or unpredictable. But the truth is, many dogs are not badly behaved at all.
It's just how
they are simply stressed in an environment where humans do not fully understand how they feel. What is worth pointing out is that most of these mistakes actually come from love. We think we are caring for our dogs the right way, but to them, those same things can feel like pressure. In this video, I am going to talk about the 10 most common mistakes that cause stress in dogs, from very small things like the way we pet them or call their names, to noise, daily routines, and even the way we react when they do not behave the way we want. I am not saying this to make you feel guilty. Honestly, anyone who has raised a dog has probably made at least a few of these mistakes. What matters is not how many times you got it wrong, but how much better you understand your dog starting today. And I believe that if you recognize even a few of these things, the relationship between you and your dog will change a lot. 1. Forcing your dog to interact when it does not want to. Many people think dogs always enjoy being petted, cuddled, or called over to play. But that is not always true. There are times when a dog wants to be left alone. There are times when it is tired, stressed, or simply does not want to be touched. But humans often ignore those signals. We see that the dog looks cute, so we hug it. We see it lying still, so we pull it up to play. Guests arrive, and we force the dog to come out and greet everyone. To me, this is one of the most common mistakes because it sounds so harmless. But when it happens over and over again, the dog learns that it has no right to refuse. And when a dog cannot refuse in gentle ways, it may switch to avoiding, freezing, growling, or even biting as a warning. Common signs include turning the head away, licking the lips, yawning, flattening the ears, holding the tail low, or leaving the area. If you notice these signals, the best thing you can do is stop. In my personal view, respecting a dog's space is the first foundation of a good relationship. A dog that feels respected will be calmer, trust you more, and be less defensive. 2. Scolding too much or using a tense tone of voice. Dogs do not understand our language in the way many people think they do. They do not analyze words very much. They read tone, energy, rhythm, and emotion. When you shout, speak harshly, or repeat your dog's name over and over in an annoyed voice, the first thing the dog feels is not a lesson. It feels a threat. Many people have a habit of shouting, "No, be quiet, come here," or "What are you doing?" all day long. It may sound normal, but for a dog, living in an emotionally unpredictable environment is a form of ongoing pressure. I think this is why so many dogs live in a constant state of alertness. They do not know when their owner will be happy or when they will be upset. They cannot predict the emotional environment around them. And for a dog, an unpredictable environment is a stressful one. This does not mean you should not set boundaries. Of course you should. But instead of relying only on yelling, teach clear signals, reward the dog when it gets things right, redirect unwanted behavior, and keep your voice more stable. A peaceful home is not a place with no rules. It is a place where the rules are consistent and easy to understand. 3. Not giving your dog enough exercise and mental stimulation. Many people think a dog is stressed because it is sensitive, but sometimes it is simply overflowing with unused energy. A dog that does not get enough walks, does not get to sniff and explore, does not get enough movement, and does not get to use its brain can easily become frustrated. Where does that pent-up energy go? It often turns into destructive behavior, excessive barking, running in circles, constantly demanding attention, biting hands during play, or struggling to relax. In my opinion, a very common misunderstanding is thinking that if the house is large, there is no need to take the dog for walks. In reality, walking is not just about running. Walking allows dogs to explore the world through their nose, and for dogs, sniffing is almost a major mental need. A quality walk does not have to be very long, but it should give the dog enough time to move slowly, sniff, observe, and process information. On top of that, you can add activities like food-stuffed toys, scent games, simple 5 to 10 minute training sessions, or changing your walking route. A dog that is tired in a healthy way will relax much more easily. 4. An inconsistent daily routine, one day like this and the next day completely different. Dogs like stability more than we think. They do not need a glamorous life. They need to know when they will eat, when they will go outside, when their owner will come home, and when it is time to rest. When everything keeps changing, dogs can easily lose their sense of security. For example, today you feed the dog at 7 a.m., tomorrow not until 10. Some days it gets 2 walks, some days none at all. Sometimes you let it sleep on the couch, other times you scold it and chase it off. Today a behavior is ignored, but tomorrow the same behavior is punished. Inconsistency confuses dogs. They do not know what is right, what is wrong, or what is going to happen next. And from my point of view, stress does not always come from something big. Sometimes it comes from living in an environment where all the rules keep changing unpredictably. You do not need to turn life into the military. You just need to keep the basics more stable, fairly regular meal times, consistent bathroom breaks, consistent reactions to the dog's behavior, and shared rules among everyone in the household. Consistency creates a sense of safety. And a sense of safety helps dogs relax. 5. Exposing your dog too much to noise and chaotic environments. We are used to the sound of TV, music, traffic, people talking, and objects banging into each other. But dogs have much more sensitive hearing. An environment that feels normal to humans may already be overwhelming for a dog. Some things that easily stress dogs are music played too loudly, people shouting in the house, fireworks, thunder, vacuum cleaners, constant guests coming and going, or children running around too wildly near the dog. Some dogs do not react obviously right away, but stress builds up over time. They may start panting, pacing, hiding under tables, trembling, or clinging to their owner unusually. I see many people only pay attention when the dog starts barking or panicking, but in reality, the dog has usually been giving small signals for a long time before that. What you can do is create a quiet, safe corner for your dog, avoid pulling it out of its hiding place when it is scared, lower the volume of the TV or speakers when needed, and prepare a private space that helps the dog calm down. Not every dog likes a lively environment. Some dogs only need a slightly softer environment to feel completely different. 6. Punishing your dog for showing fear.
Don't do that.
This is a mistake that I personally find especially unfortunate. Because it does not just make the dog more stressed, it also makes it lose trust in its owner. For example, your dog is afraid of strangers and backs away, but you pull it closer. Your dog is scared by a noise and starts trembling, and you scold it by saying, "There is nothing to be afraid of." Your dog growls when forced near something that makes it uneasy, and you punish it immediately. The problem is that fear does not disappear just because it is scolded.
Look at this mess you made.
It only gets pushed down.
You need to listen.
And when a dog is not allowed to express mild signs of discomfort, it may skip those warning steps the next time and react much more strongly. Growling, avoiding, and freezing are often not bad behaviors. They are information. The dog is telling you that it is not okay with what is happening. In my opinion, instead of shutting down the signal, we should read the signal. If your dog is afraid, create distance, reduce the intensity of the trigger, give it time to observe, and use rewards to gradually build a positive association. A dog that is supported at the right moment will learn how to stay calm. A dog that is forced to be strong usually only learns how to endure stress. 7. Hugging, kissing, or putting your face too close because you think that is love. Humans show affection by hugging, kissing, and holding tightly. But dogs do not always understand that form of love. A lot of dogs tolerate being hugged rather than truly enjoying it. Standing still does not mean they are comfortable. Sometimes they stay still because they do not know how to get away. When you put your face close to your dog's face, hug its neck, or hold it tightly against your body, that can make it feel restrained and like its space is being invaded. This is especially risky when children hug dogs too tightly, force them to pose for photos, or hug them while they are resting or eating.
Just like this.
I know this may be a little hard to hear, because everyone who has a dog wants to be close to it. But in my opinion, loving your dog does not mean showing affection in the way you enjoy most. It means showing affection in the way that makes your dog feel most comfortable. Instead of hugging tightly, you can gently pet the chest or shoulders, sit beside your dog, talk in a soft voice, or let the dog choose to come close on its own. When the dog is allowed to take the initiative, real bonding often comes much more naturally. 8. Leaving your dog alone too long without preparing it. Not every dog is okay with being left home alone for many hours. And what is important is that some dogs do not destroy things or bark loudly, yet they are still severely stressed. Stress from being alone can show up as pacing near the door, panting, howling, whining, excessive paw licking, loss of toilet control, or unusually clingy behavior before you leave. In my opinion, many people underestimate a dog's need for companionship, especially breeds that bond strongly with humans. If your schedule forces you to be away from home for long periods, what matters is preparing your dog. Take it for a walk or give it exercise before you leave, leave behind interactive toys, create a safe resting area, and teach the dog to get used to being alone step by step instead of suddenly disappearing for many hours. And one small but important thing is not to turn leaving or returning home into an overly dramatic event. The more dramatic you make it, the more sensitive your dog may become to separation. Calm, brief, and consistent behavior is often more effective. 9. Not noticing early stress signals and only waiting until the dog has a serious problem. This is probably the quietest mistake of all. Many owners only realize their dog is stressed when everything has already exploded, biting, intense barking, destroying things, refusing to eat, or obvious behavior changes. But before that point, dogs often send many small signals such as lip licking when no food is present, turning the head away, repeated yawning, scratching at themselves, pacing, crouching, holding the tail low, darting eyes, or difficulty focusing. I truly think that the better a dog owner is at noticing these small signals, the easier life becomes for the dog.
That's it. Relax.
Because when you recognize stress early, you can intervene before it turns into an outburst. Having a dog is not just about feeding and bathing it. Having a dog means learning another language. A language without words, but an incredibly honest one. And sometimes, what a dog needs most is not a command, but someone willing to look a little more closely. 10. Loving your dog according to your feelings instead of its real needs. This is the last mistake, and in my opinion, also the biggest one. Many things that stress dogs come from one very human tendency: we love them in the way we want to. We want them to be happy when guests come over. We want them to behave immediately. We want them to cooperate in photos. We want them to obey quickly. We want them to be sociable with everyone, every other dog, and every environment. But a dog is not a furry version of human expectations. Each dog has its own personality, its own tolerance level, its own fears, and its own needs. Some dogs are very outgoing. Some are sensitive. Some need a lot of exercise. Some only need a quiet place and a few people they trust. In my personal view, being a good dog owner is not about turning your dog into the ideal dog. It is about understanding it well enough to help it live more safely, more steadily, and with less pressure. In other words, a dog does not need a perfect owner. It needs an owner who knows how to listen. If you realize you have made a few of the mistakes on this list, do not be too hard on yourself. Honestly, most of us learn how to raise a dog while we are already raising one. Everyone has misunderstood something, rushed something, or accidentally made their dog uncomfortable. What matters is that from now on, you start paying closer attention. As long as you respect your dog's space, keep its environment more stable, yell less, give it enough exercise, learn to read stress signals, and love it according to its needs, not just your own emotions, your dog will feel the difference. A dog that is less stressed is not only better behaved.
Good boy.
It also lives more lightly, trusts you more, and is happier. And in the end, that is the most beautiful thing about having a dog. If you found this video helpful, try looking back at one small habit of your own after watching it. Sometimes, just one very small change from an owner is enough to make a dog's life much easier.